So I just had a conversation with a buddy of mine, and he told me that a guy that I used to know that I had a sort of falling out with, I don't really get along with, that he happened to be doing poorly. Thought that would put me in a good mood. He thought that would, that'd be good news to me. And I pushed back and I said, well, let me ask you something. Is this guy an enemy of mine? And I define an enemy as somebody who is, actively trying to sabotage my mission. Somebody who's, in order to be them, they have to destroy me, right? They're out to get me. I said, is this guy one of those guys? No. Was he ever one of those guys? No. I said, so he's not an enemy. Somebody I don't get along with, somebody that there's, what I would call Trombonomics language, a dysfunctional level of offset with. I said, if this guy is somebody I don't want to hang out with, somebody that I don't get along, if he is doing poorly, does that make him more likely to be emotional, distractible, off mission? Yes. I said, if he's doing well, is that more than likely to make him more focused, more on mission, less distractible? He said, yes. And I said, so what you're telling me is that since I don't get along with this guy, it's actually better that if he does better, because then I'll less likely have to deal with it. I said, because if something bad happens to him, does that benefit me? I said, so let's play the what if game for a second. What if this guy actually was an enemy? Let's say he was out to get me, and let's say he was doing poorly. What would that mean to me? He said, well, nothing. If he's your enemy, but he's doing poorly, he doesn't have the means to, right, he's useless. I said, but if my enemy's doing well, what does that mean for me? He goes, oh, well, then he has the tools to get after you. He has the tools to, undermine you, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, so if that were the case, he was an enemy and he was actually capable of coming after me, what would I have to do to respond? He said, well, you'd have to respond back to him. You'd have to be stronger. You'd have to, develop some way to counter what he's doing and make sure that you're in a better position than he is. I said, so what you're telling me is that whether somebody's my enemy or not my enemy, making him stronger allows me to be stronger as a result. I don't know if my friend agreed. I said to him like that, but let me know what you think.